Warm greetings on behalf of Wednesdays for Water, an initiative of the W4W Foundation, a think tank instituted as Citizens Collective. We welcome you to the 98th session of the Wednesdays for Water. And today we are going to discuss social ecological approach to lake restoration and many more things. The objective of Wednesdays for Water is to engage in conversation with water experts, grassroots practitioners, policymakers and youth to explore the complex intertwined issues associated with water and possible solutions. We have also expanded the water conversation to Friday Waters and Monday Munching with Women for Water, besides organizing many water workshops, water walks and talks, seminars, special courses, and conference panels. Do visit our website www.w4w.in for more details. As you are aware that we are doing lake and pond series, and all know that lake and ponds have been deteriorating despite several efforts in the last many decades. Although we have lost more than half in the country in last 1 century, and there have been not to do's a lot in lakes and ponds in the country, which have been done systematically, and that led to many lakes deterioration to the extent of extinction as well. There are several ways where people have actually experimented with lakes and ponds rejuvenation. And to my surprise, 2 years ago, when I was doing a research on how many youngsters have gotten into lake restoration and rejuvenation, and what were their patterns of engaging into with the lake and the society, I was not surprised to really find over 75 lake crusaders or pond crusaders or water crusaders, you may call, across the country, who are really young at heart and young in their endeavors. So among them, and not to exaggerate, to be honest, for me personally, Piyush stands as the tallest figure in the way he has handled not only the management of water bodies, but in the way he handles the society in bringing them together. Being a governance scholar myself, I think for me, lake will come later, but how to bring people together so that they can discuss about lakes or any matter, social or ecological matter. And I think Piyush has mastered that art. And before I invite Piyush to really speak about his heart, I would like to give a short presentation, just few slides presentation, to really give a tribute to his fight, I will say, and the fight worth in his life. And this is where we can see how things can transform and how people can be inspired with people like Piyush in their lives. So just please confirm if you are seeing the slideshow. Yeah. So Piyush Piyush is born and brought up in Salem, and I'm going to ask him about Salem, what is so good about it, and what is there in Salem which really keeps people going and people around Salem as well. He is an activist at the core, but I think more to the grounded side of it. He is a hardcore conservationist, and I do read a lot about his work here and there, many times very interesting and very, very captivating things. But at the same time, a God-fearing, I must say, but nature-loving entrepreneur and an ardent farmer. So he's actually living the way one should be aiming or dreaming to live a life about. A qualified person to be really doing corporate jobs, but I know how he talks about how corporate versus cooperative can actually matter a lot in lives of people. So the air you breathe, the water you drink also changes people. So Green with Manush was one of my favorite articles, which was written on Hindu. And that's when I came to know about him. So this is a picture of Mookaneri Lake, the one which we were seeing before in the slides. And now you see how things have changed over time at the Mookaneri Lake, but also a lot of things which has been done after that. We are going to hear from Piyush the whole story of Mookaneri Lake. Then along with mobilizing the lake of Mookaneri and many other lakes in the last over decade of time, he has also formed the Salem Citizen Forum, and we are going to talk about it, why it matters and why community has been a backbone of the way he really operates. And this is something, as I was mentioning, for me is the most attractive part of the approach Piyush has taken in life. He has also done other lakes apart from Mookaneri. Looking at Mookaneri, many people from around the district have reached him to take up these matters. But then again, people were at the center of doing these operations. And he has been hardcore activist in stopping a lot of not so good things for the society, and we are going to talk about them as well in my question and answer. He is a very well-known voice among young people. As I mentioned, when I was looking at the young water enthusiasts, he really stands tall in my way of looking at who a right person is. His voice of environment as well as social problems. So it's not only that he's doing water bodies rejuvenation, but he has really gotten into the hearts and heads of the people where it required in his areas of work. With some of his friends, activists, they have formed Coop-Forest, and he loves to call himself chief laborer of the Coop-Forest, where they produce a lot of products which are nature-based, which are really bringing goodness to people and well-being to local people out there. And it's, of course, an entrepreneurship venture, which we are going to also talk about it. Within this Mookaneri Lake and around, they have formed a forest where they have also planted many species of plants, and we are going to also hear from him many species of birds rejuvenated in the area. And then it also has been turned into a commercial venture, as I mentioned, as entrepreneurship. So Coop-Forest is a very well-known farmer producing or forest producing goods initiative, which Piyush and his friends lead here. So may I invite Piyush to really say a few words, and as he has promised that he's not going to give long lectures, so probably my talk was bigger than him today. But then we will really engage with you in the way you conduct life, not only about lake, but also about social matters. So thank you, Piyush, for agreeing to take this talk, and over to you.
छोटा सा इंट्रोडक्शन दे देता हूं मैं 2010 में सेडिशन में अरेस्ट हो गया था। सेडिशन में जब अरेस्ट हुआ तो काफी सिटीजन इंटरेस्ट हमारे काम की तरफ आया। तो जब काम की तरफ इंटरेस्ट आया तो फिर हम लोग ने सोचा, मैं पेड़ बहुत साल से लगा रहा हूँ, मैं 97 से पेड़ लगा रहा हूँ और पहाड़ों पे लगा रहा हूँ। सेलम इज सराउंडेड बाय लॉट ऑफ हिल्स एंड ये ऐसा है कि हम बहुत सारा पेड़ लगाता था मैं और साथ में एंटी बाइनिंग स्ट्रगल काफी हमने 2008-9 में तो बहुत सक्सेसेस पाली थी। जैसे वेदांता का माइनिंग हमने बंद करवाया बिकॉज वी वर माइनिंग बॉक्साइट इन Irkad and Koli Hills. Chevron Hills से 5 rivers originate. Chevron Hills is basically Eastern Ghats. So 5 river originate हो रहा था and it was being mined ruthlessly, but we won this battle. We were able to stop the mining, and after that in 2010 the state will again not sit quietly and take to activism. तो उन्होंने हमको जेल कर दिया था। जब जेल कर दिया, फिर जब रिलीज हुए हम, I was there thankfully only for 23 days under sedition. The judge was a good judge. He released me, and as soon as I got released, a lot of citizen interest came around. They said, let us do something good. So luckily the collector then, who had got me arrested, also had a little soft heart. So as soon as we went and asked for a lake to be restored, he said, why don't you take it up and do it? And then we got down. Luckily for us, there was a school, Golden Gates School, which was very eager to join hands. The correspondent was a part of Salem Citizens Forum. We formed a very informal group of citizens called Salem Citizens Forum, and we took over this Mookaneri Lake by starting off a cleanup project. So the first week, 1,000 people came because we had distributed pamphlets and notices and invited people to come. And Salem was also facing a very severe drought.
Yes.
So people were really scared at the time. This lake had never got dry, even though polluted, but never got dry. And this time it has got dry. So we were able to enter the lake, clean up the lake, pick up plastic trash. And we had an idea that we will make islands and plant trees inside it, because a lot of green cover in Salem, we had lost a lot of green covers, like our parks, big campuses, all had a huge tree felling going on. So it worked well. the islands were created. Every day one island was created. I used to bring my friends, threaten them, take money. 15,000 was the cost that we had fixed for one island, and we created 45 islands in 45 days. Saplings were brought down. I always had a nursery with me. I still have a huge nursery with me. It's my favorite pastime.
Yes, so, you were planting since ever, no? So that's why.
So, and then we were able to plant 12,000 trees inside the lake. And all this we completed in 3 months.
Wow.
The islands, the planting, the citizens coming in. And after 3 months, rain came and the lake was filled with water.
Yes.
So as soon as the islands were created, we also sowed a lot of millets. So that the grass, the millets that will grow fast will prevent the soil erosion of the newly created bunds.
Yes.
And then simultaneously, once the vehicle was brought out of that lake, we took another lake. We cleared the stream there. We cleared the stream for 10 kilometers.
Yes.
Gunnu, the camera on kar beta, please. So on, and then we basically cleaned 10 kilometers of the stream. And you know what? And I was working with the vehicle there. Say a lot of friends used to join, but most of the time I was alone there. So thanks, Gunu. So we were able to bring Ismail Khan Lake to life again by clearing the stream, and I removed the encroachments with public cooperation. That was the most special thing. The government didn't intervene. We were able to, on the stream there were a lot of encroachments. People came forward, said, you please remove this and clear the waterway. And we were able to do it. And then 11, 12, 13 was our success years. And in 2013, we were able to take up another lake called Amapet Lake. Amapet is a very congested area in Salem. Yes. From where the sewage water flows inside the water body. It's a 40-acre water body. Now Mookaneri was 52 acres. 58. And this Amapet Lake was 40 acres. So we took up this 40-acre water body. Garbage, it was full of garbage. Not a single frog survived that. Stinking lake. We got in, removed the inlet channels, cleaned the lake up, pumped all the water out. And again, for 40 weeks, we worked here. 40 to 50 weeks we worked. Every Sunday, we had hundreds of people coming in, getting inside this polluted lake, dry now, but picked up plastic, picked up all this. And then the same thing we did. We created a lot of islands, planted a lot of trees. But here we had a challenge of inflow of sewage water. So for the sewage water, I divided the lake, like one extreme part, did 2-3 pits to hold plastic so that solids will fall there. The water will go around and come in. Planted a lot of vetiveria.
Channels, you made those channels,
yes.
Serpentine.
Yes. Serpentine channels, yes. So it was a lovely experience for us. And with the polluted waters, we had thousands of birds coming in. The lake got full again. Clean waters, at least seemingly clean, because Icornia was doing something.
Yes.
And all this was going on, and they're all having a happy time. But then in 2016, again, had a little setback with the state, got beaten up inside the jail, had to go on an offensive with different projects.
Yes.
In 2018, the lakes were taken up under Smart City project. So what we had done in, say, we would have spent around 1.5 crores to 2 crores, between 1.5 to 2 crores in Amapet Lake. Because of the bund, we created bund for 2 kilometers. We did this water treatment, biotic water treatment. We did these islands, planted trees, we did the park. All this would have cost us 2 crores, and the government bought in 32 crores inside. And from 2018 till date, it has been destroying the lake. And I'm just watching the show as of now. So
that is very interesting way you say that you're just watching the show now once it has been taken over. But because you were more interested in this conversation, and also as I was telling you that I am a lake student all my life, but I do knowledge management like you do the lake management on the ground. So I write a lot about lakes. And we have been seeing from time since we have gotten independence, where urbanization is on the rise and lakes are getting converted into land. So a lake lost is a land gain. But in those situations, we still see many warriors like you who have managed to save many lakes. And when people like you work with the local people, the cost of lake restoration is way too less than when government takes up a project of lake restoration. Yes. First of all, the project of taken through the government approach is always more development oriented, and lot of lot of investments in there. But the end of the day, lake ecosystem is not the way as it is done in a collective way by the people with lesser funds, with more public engagement, with more apnapan jisko bolte hain. And then the ecosystem is also better. So why I'm saying this is because when I read about you, I also see how deeply you are connecting nature, love of nature, religion, spirituality together. So there is something which cooperatives or people or collective people do, which government initiatives cannot do. What is your experience about it? Is there something more than money, because they don't get the results which people get?
No, absolutely. The government can never get a result which people can get, because a government is a fixed machine.
Yes.
It is not a living. It does not have a heart.
Yes.
Nah. So it has consultants now in the new regime. Yes. Even earlier it was much better, but now with privatization and all this taking over, now you have a different sort of, instead of PP, that public
private and people
private partnership, it should be public partnership.
Yes.
Nah. Instead of that, when they go for public private partnership, what happens is you have consultants coming in, you have contractors coming in, you have corporates coming in. So these 3 C's are very dangerous.
Yes.
Ooh, these 3 P's actually.
Yes.
So now this entire C business, what happens is you have consultants who want to escalate the project cost to the highest.
Commission hai.
Nah, commission bhi chhod dijiye aap. I'm saying even if it is a honest project, it doesn't matter. Say aapne honesty se bhi kiya pura kaam, if you have done it with a thorough honesty, but still what you will find is the consultant scale of pay would have to match the project scale.
Yes.
So you have to take to the ultimate hell. Now you can build, you can rebuild, you can break, you can rebuild. Things of that sort will happen. And for the corporate, if there is no scale, he will not be interested in coming.
Yes, they will not be interested
in coming. And now I'll tell you just example of this Amapet Lake. I put a lot of videos about it also.
Yes.
In terms of, in my Facebook also you can find it.
Language ka thoda usme issue hai.
Okay, I'm speaking in Tamil there. Now what they have done is, I'll just finish very shortly in 2 minutes. ऐसा किया उन्होंने कि the water comes from the hill through a stream. The stream falls in the lake. The lake gets filled up, and then the outflow goes to the next lake. That is a natural cycle. So what they've done is, here is the water comes, the stream comes, the gutter goes inside the stream. So they say that there's pollution happening. We also knew that the pollution is happening. We brought out solutions for it. The government could have cooperated with us. We would have completely eradicated pollution. But no, they have an idea of a different scale at a different level. Now what they've done is, they have created a huge concrete wall around the lake.
Which is their favorite job, by the way, across the country.
Across the country. Now they take this concrete wall through. Now take the waters downstream through gravity for 4 kilometers to a sewage treatment plant and connect it to the underground drainage scheme.
So all the shit banana pada na.
So all the shit and the water of the lake now get mixed up. Then they separate both. Then they take this water back to the lake by pumping. अब इसमें problem क्या हो रहा है कि जो outlet है, that outlet is still not connected to the lake now. Forget pumping, forget all that. The outlet is stuck midway, where you have taken that outlet, and now it is flooding the community, which was a problem also earlier when the overflow used to come there. Now they have augmented that multiple times, where not a single drop of water comes to the lake. but will pass through the community, and then they promise that they will pump it back. So इतना तो smart city project में smart कर रहे हैं.
So much of an effort, वो पूरा कंस्ट्रक्शन करके दिखाना है ना, एक्सपेंडिचर कि हमने इतना स्पेंड किया है to do the lake, but हुआ है कि नहीं. So somewhere in the country we are also not doing evaluation of what is being done. I mean, I'm always screaming high about Sabarmati riverfront from my own city, where many riverfronts in the country are getting built without any evaluation of Sabarmati, whether it is good or not, you know. So that's the best part. But I want to go back to a small technical detail which you have done in your own projects and all, where you talk about, you know, cleaning of water by water hyacinth. And I think through you, I would like to convey to all that how water hyacinth is actually a useful tool for cleaning of lake if it is done in a very doctored manner, you know. So maybe you can share your experience of working with it.
So obviously humans can create complex problems.
Yes.
Nah, we don't have but solutions to it. Now all this drain that drains into our stream unabated, and from the stream inside the lake.
Yes.
How do we solve it? Do I bring in something mechanical? Do I use electricity to clear it? Or even if I use aerators, then I have to use motor, set up belts, set up conveyors and all that. And where does it end? Like who maintains, who gives money for it? Who keeps doing this task? Who brings the staff in for it? Who does the quality parameter check and all that? All those are issues. I found water hyacinth to be a very good friend of ours.
Yes.
It's the nest for birds also.
Yes.
You pollute water, it is going to grow.
Yes.
फिर बोलते हैं BOD खत्म हो गया, तुम pollute क्यों कर रहे हो भाई?
बिल्कुल.
अगर तुम pollute नहीं करते, बेचारा आता ही नहीं.
हाँ, आता ही नहीं. हाँ.
When you are polluted, he has come. Now when he has come, then you deal with it. Now you deal with it in a way that you can harvest it.
Yes.
Regularly. I used to maintain 60%, 40%.
Yes.
60% for water hyacinth, 40% for my visual treat for the eyes. And also, yes, you need water, you need clean water. Yes. You need the jo filter pani hai, wo clean hoke rahega. And then birds also need that for fishing. Birds also need this for fishing. Yes. That's nesting and fishing. Vice versa. Fishes also thrive very well. So it was a wonderful experience for me with it. My only dream was to put up a conveyor belt along the lake and keep removing it. Compost also was great. Its compost was wonderful.
Yes, hyacinth compost is very, very useful.
Yes, it was wonderful. And even if you're not, and one more thing was that I had organized some workshop to process the fiber that comes from Iconia. Yes. Beautiful products are made out of it.
Beautiful products.
I couldn't go much ahead with it, but a little more, 1 or 2 years down the line, I would have done it. I would have crossed the threshold also. But water hyacinth is very useful. It is not something that we will have to spray. They were spraying insecticide, pesticide. Sorry, they were saying what herbicide over it. Yes. And killing everything along with it. So it's completely unnecessary. First thing you do is you don't pollute the lake. If you are polluting the lake, then deal with it. Then water hyacinth is our last hope.
Yeah. Is the best friend when we want to pollute the lake, actually, in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But we don't like water hyacinth, but we like to pollute the lake. That's our current status in the country. Okay, from the technical side, I have two more questions because people have left also. We were quite late to start.
I'm so sorry.
Questions. No issues. We will still keep the conversation, and I had actually many questions for you. I've been trying to get you many times. When we talked about Mookaneri, you had actually, in those days when you were doing it, dredging and desilting was not appreciated. And island became kind of, the way to deal with dredging and desilting, but also it's a good way to keep the soil there itself, in the long run. But now you must be seeing that dredging and desilting has become a fashion across the country, where they dredge and desilt and put the soil at the edge of the lake. And my study during my PhD, I learned that they eventually reduce the area of the lake by a large extent. And it's like reclaiming the land from the lake because they deepen the lake a lot. So, I mean, when you were doing this exercise in a large scale, because Mookaneri was huge scale lake, but when this is done in small ponds and all, when the pond is getting deeper and the sides are getting reclaimed and all, how far will or what will be your suggestion for people to really go for dredging in these lake? For me, it is quite disturbing. I will be very honest on this.
Yes. So for me, the only reason why I created this island idea was that basically I would like to. I'm very wary of the state. The state can turn against you anytime.
Yes.
If I was sending lorry loads outside the lake, it means I'm selling soil.
Yes, it will be soil mining, sand mining.
I didn't want to take charge of it. Second thing, city based this lake is, and I wanted to create a green zone for the birds also. In Salem, we have destroyed all our greenery. It was a very green, city. 20-30 years back, they said it used to drizzle every time.
Wow.
Every evening. So everyone had an umbrella. Now we have zero sale of umbrella in our city.
that's real climate change or people change or urbanization.
We could have still retained our greenery. We could have still retained. We are surrounded by hills on all sides. We have the most famous Erkard Hill Station, just 20 kilometers from Salem. I live just in the foothills of Erkard. And we could have done so much more, but we lost everything. But we needed a green zone. And what better than a lake being a protected site?
Yes.
With regard to land encroachment inside lake, I think so it's a much easier task of removing land encroachment. It didn't take me much to remove land encroachment in Amapateri, in Mookaneri. Elsewhere, it didn't take me much. But there are still challenges ahead. If you're a rich man, it's going to be a difficult thing. I'm still grappling with one case in Mookaneri where the Chief Income Tax Commissioner has taken patta for the lake bund.
Okay.
I'm unable to get it cancelled because we have had lousy collectors all these years. For the past almost, I think so, from 2006 onwards, we have had very lousy collectors inside Salem, as far as I recollect. And 2000 itself. So for the past 23 years, I'm waiting for a smart collector. In between, there was one who gave us the lakes permission. Chandra Mohan, I'll exclude him because he gave the permission of lakes to us. Otherwise, everyone is a complete dumb sack. So, Abhi, the thing is, with this island creating an island inside a lake, when I dredged this 45-acre lake, Mookaneri is 45 acres. Sorry, 58 acres. 58. In 58 acres, if I have 45 islands, where I dredge soil from one small space, I don't think so I'm deepening too much. This was, I went 15 feet down with in a very little small circumference. So each island is also not very big. It was, if I'm very right, it must be 300 feet in diameter.
Okay.
300 feet in diameter. No. 300 feet is 100 meters. No.
It's too big. You are talking
100 feet, 30 meters.
30 meters.
30 meters. Because this is all very old story now for me, because it's 13 years back. We did all this. We did all the
like heaven still, huh? It is still
Mookaneri is still heaven.
Yes.
The trees are still heaven, no? Because I'm saying natural solutions will last long.
Yes.
Will last long, will stay long. Rest, I feel otherwise, desilting is the best way to go about it, but it has to be in a very controlled stage. Like in Mookaneri, in 2018, there was a desilting exercise taken up under a scheme announced by the EPS.
Yes.
He said you can desilt all the lakes, but the condition was 2 meters, which is 5 to 6 feet.
2 meters, yes.
2 meters was the condition. All other lakes, they looted it.
Yes,
that's deep down.
Mining, na? That's I'm calling it water grabbing.
So idhar khadda khoda aur deep chale gaye. But the lakes that were in my control, 2 meters was 2 meters. I ensured that it comes scooped in a cup, in a beautiful cup. It was scooped. Everything was controlled. Any damage done, the vehicle was seized. Tahsil was caught, cases were filed. So it is very important that, you know, we will have to desilt. There's no,
yes, of course,
no way
but
that you cannot desilt.
how much is the question?
How much is the question?
That will be lake by lake, not really. There is no.
Yes, yes. And if it's a big lake, it's a fairly wide water body, still you can go only 2 meters or 3 meters down. 3 meters is also very big. 2 meters is 2 meters is
fish नहीं आएगी ना, छोटी fish नहीं हो पाएगी deep में.
2 meter बहुत ज़्यादा है for a lake that has not seen desilting for say 20 or 30 years.
Yes.
Up 20 years, 30 years desilt नहीं किए हो, then you desilt. Then you invite farmers, you give them soil, they take back the nutrition of the soil, they take back the soil to their fields, productivity will increase, all that will happen. But it is very important you do it in a very nice and systematic manner. But people में awareness अभी बहुत 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 ज़्यादा कम है.
वो तो उस पे हम बात करेंगे, क्योंकि एजुकेशन वाटर बॉडीज पे उतनी होती नहीं है, और जो लोग कर रहे हैं वो अपने नॉलेज और अपने पैशन से सीख के कर रहे हैं और करके सीख रहे हैं, ऐसा हो रहा है.
सही एकदम सही.
तो मेरा एक सोशल एस्पेक्ट पे एक सवाल है, और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग वे आई सी इन योर पैटर्न ऑफ वर्क, where you try to gather information, and you have been saying it at platforms where you are invited to do motivational talks, that file RTI, get the information, get people along, and then make people realize, and then they come along, and then also make local authorities realize it or make them more accountable for it. Do you think as environmental activists towards water rejuvenation or water restoration or conservation, including Ganga se leke chota Mookaneri tak, environmentalists have really managed to utilize RTI in the right way, or has been a good tool to exploit in a larger scale or smaller scale? What's your experience with your friends and fraternity who are working in this field?
See, RTI has been the best thing to happen for us. If someone is wanting to take activism,
democracy, yes,
that's the best tool to happen. Now, how much you are able to leverage out of it is the bigger question. Abhi maine recently, when Annamalai, the BJP leader, and Tejasvi Surya opened the emergency door, I filed an RTI saying, "Bhai sahab, aapne door khola hai with the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. मैं क्या case file किया है?" So I received no reply from them. I filed a RTI with the collector here with regard to inspecting the files for the past 2 years, where he has given permission for tree felling, massive tree felling in Salem.
Yes.
So I'm yet to get a reply for that. Now every RTI also has its own struggle.
Yes.
Now it doesn't come very easy. You will have to, but this is a very strong tool that we cannot miss out. Like in mining struggles, what we have been able to do is I've been able to take 2,000 people along with me to the collector office. Each one has been able to file an RTI. So we have dragged the protest for 2 days inside the collector, blocked all the work, and ensured that the reply is given. Because otherwise, all the 2,000 people will come again and take the reply back from you. So it's a very good tool. It's the best thing to happen for activism. And we have won a lot of struggles, land acquisition struggle, against 8-way lane, Chennai Salem 8-way lane, we have won thanks to RTI. We have been able to defeat Vedanta thanks to RTI. We have been able to defeat Jindal thanks to RTI. Kempla Sanmar thanks to RTI. Pollution of river Kaveri thanks to RTI. So yes, we have had our victories only through RTI. So we have the only deity now with us in front of us is to pray to RTI.
Good tool. I think we have to really get a masterclass from you on RTI. My next question to you, which is the next process in your usual water rejuvenation work, because we all know that water management is people management. Water does not require us to be to manage itself. We require ourselves to be managing so that water is not polluted. Otherwise, water can manage by itself. So when I look at your work profile, I think the most attractive part for me as a water student is how you manage to get people along with it. What is that going on in Piyush said? How do you go? Do you go to people door to door, or how do you get people there? I saw you once walking around in the cycle about pollution and everything. You know, all these hoardings around you. But I think in today's time, it will be the most difficult thing to really do when we talk about doing collective action. To get 1,000 people to clean a lake, to get 2,000 people to go to collector's office, how is Piyush Manush doing it?
There's no rocket science to it.
I know, but still, I think if I go out and ask for people, I won't even find 2 people to work on with me.
No, I think so. The way you share information first is data that is.
Yes.
We cannot be too academic about things.
Yes.
It has to be along with people's knowledge. Like when I heard that my one hill, Ganjamale here, is going to be mine, I just went to that village without knowing anyone there. And I had a Mahindra 540 TP in which I had put up photos of the child, the famous Bhopal, the child that died in the Bhopal gas tragedy. And I had put Salem as another Bhopal. Don't be mistaken. So like that message itself, said that like kuch garbad hai idhar. So it brings on people towards us. And then you talk to them, and when you talk to them, when you share information, it has to be crisp and smart. The information has to be. So I used to tell them how this hill mind will ruin their livelihood and their lives. You have to believe me that I went there in 1 hour. I got 50 people talking to me from the village.
People were already looking for someone to really.
And second planning meeting we had 300 people for the planning meeting. In the third action that we had, I had 1,000 people filing RTA in the DFO's office.
That's where I was so keen to ask you, how is Piyush doing it?
I don't know. People come actually. Then see, you have to be truthful to them.
Of course, yes.
You have to speak the truth to them, and then I don't know. It happens. Community mobilization has happened always, and they have been successful.
And you have been quite successful in doing that in most of the projects, even up to setting up the cooperative. Because that brings me to the question: how did you find these friends and push them to buy land next to you?
Threaten.
It's a good threatening.
Yes. साले नहीं देगा पैसा तो देखना. पुलिस में तुम्हारा नाम दे दूंगा.
Is it Piyush who is very good in threatening people or making people realize, or awakening people? So let us use the word awakening, because I think many people dream of doing these things, but Piyush succeeded in convincing his number of friends and getting this place totally revived, which was a rocky place, to a dense forest now.
Yes. So people have a lot of preempt feeling of goodness within themselves.
Yes.
It's just that they're waiting for an opportunity. It has to be tapped.
Good leader.
They
are waiting for a good leader.
But there's a lot of diversions. Religion is one of the biggest diversion.
Yeah.
मंदिर में आ जाओ, यहाँ चले जाओ, वहाँ चले जाओ, ध्यान करने बैठ जाओ, मेडिटेट करो, योगा करो, सब बकवास करके लोगों को एकदम they have like ruined our landscape. But yes, you tell people, you talk to them, boss, you're drinking water, you're breathing air, come on, time to give back something. Let's give back something to it and experience the magic about it. And people listen and people come. But
Piyush, you are not audible.
Is it? So when it comes to activism, there's a big lag ahead still.
Yes.
Like when for their own struggles, when I say people came to save their hills, they came. They saved their hills. The challenge is to get them to save some other's river.
Yes.
The challenge is the person from the river to come and save some other's land that is being acquired for land acquisition. Solidarity struggle in our country is zero. So to get people to espouse the cause of others' solidarity, stand up with others, is a challenge which I'm really working on now. That is where my interest now is. I hope I will be able to crack that bit. And if I'm able to do it, then yeah.
That is where I had question to you only for the same reason, where in a society, it is so difficult to bring people together to do these good cause, whereas people flock for various, belief systems. But then to sustain these kind of movements like you have been doing, and it is not a one-time act that आपने मुकानेरी कर लिया, चलो अब आगे बढ़ो और कुछ और करें. It has to be maintained from time to time. How do you see local people to be really feeling engaged until, of course, government took it over and they start claiming that they are going to do everything and all?
I'll tell you this: every month we used to have some or other program there.
Yes.
In Mookaneri. The pictures are there.
Yes.
So we had built a beautiful amphitheater there.
Yes.
So we used to spend 20 rupees, make a chart. Marker pen se likhte the. Today program Mookaneri. Please come. And put up the chart at the street corner. 1,000 people used to come.
Wow.
No, the amphitheater used to get filled up.
I have seen those pictures. With full,
and then, so, hota hai, aaram se hota hai. It's no big deal. But again, our biggest challenge is to sustain interest of people, where people question the state, people question the status quo. Itna effort people have taken up, people have given us money, we have built these lakes with so much effort. With a little threat, the state has been able to put the people the back end.
Yes.
And with especially after this BJP coming to power after 2014, things have been really difficult. With the government really opening up with this hounding systems, showing that we can hound you for sure, or difficult ho jata hai. So hopefully we will be able to take up something. And sometimes this crux of, see, in India, people give money, but first money is given to temples.
Yes.
Second is you have some orphanages, they'll give money for that.
Yes.
Third, you ask for other activity like health issues of others, education, people give money.
Yes.
Fourth, people also give for tree planting, people also give for lake restoration and all that. Last, people will not give for activism.
Yes, especially for people awareness, people movement, there is no money.
No money at all. People will not give money for it. So that challenge we have in our country now, this has to be reversed now. People need to realize that by winning one Salem-Chennai highway battle, I've been able to save thousands of lakes.
Yes.
A lot of people ask me, यार मूकनेरी कर रहे थे, तुम क्या जेल वेल के काम में उलझ गए हो? हर साल जेल जाते हो, क्या हो रहा है? I'm fine with it. I cannot sit in my one Mookaneri lake and see thousands of other lakes being acquired for real estate. ना? तो ये तो allow नहीं करेंगे. So अभी तक थोड़ा education में we have still little way to go. We have far way to go, but we are hopefully we will do it. We will cross that boundary. And also technology में थोड़ा पैसा आना है.
Yes.
Micro technologies we have been working on. I've been working on green businesses.
Yes.
I've been working on projects that can replace negative energies like energy itself.
Yes, I had a question on gasifier. Did you eventually manage to? Did you eventually manage to get the?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm still working on it.
Okay, very good. Keep working on it. Hopefully, someday we will have this green energy also, even at a smaller scale, because people like you really give us hope. Again, I'm bringing that conversation to democracy, because you did talk about how saving one highway, saved many lakes there. In the past, we had a democratic way and decentralized way of managing whether village or a lake or anything, But more and more things are getting centralized, where people are losing interest also. Apart from power, they lose interest in taking care of their own resources, own community. Socializing with each other becomes extremely difficult. And you may have seen in your entire journey of taking care of water bodies that people mobilizing and maintaining that momentum of mobilization requires a lot of energy as well as monetary support. So it's not only by, motivation that people will continue coming on any projects like that. So in these situations, when we are losing decentralization, when protests are shrinking in the country, personally, I get quite scared of losing ecosystems also, because I strongly see lakes are the best examples of decentralized governance, lakes and ponds. So if we are so in large smart cities, we are so impressed by large riverfronts. Like in Ahmedabad, we have lost more than half lakes, but we have a big riverfront, which is the most polluted river in the country by after spending so much of money. So if we still continue to spend on river, for me, that's a notion of centralized way of looking at water body vis-a-vis decentralized way of looking at water body. So but places like Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry are still hope in my understanding of that part of the country. Karnataka is still hope for me. Kerala is still hope for me when we talk about, and that has to do with how citizens are aware about their own society and community. Do you see that difference when you travel across the country and see how people in Tamil Nadu are more connected and more, it has to do with education. It has to do with this sense of association with the place. Because I see wherever you go, you always say, I'm from Salem, and you take pride in that. And I'm assuming you are born and brought up there. And it's that also makes a difference. And I think a small community also makes a difference. Like in Ahmedabad, something happens in a city of 7 million people. How do you mobilize community? How do you save lakes? Vis-a-vis small towns and villages still show some hope. And that's where democracy still is there a bit. What is your take on that? Chennai versus Salem.
No, there's no point in romanticizing any situation.
Yes.
Because if you go to a village, then the issue of caste comes over.
Yes.
The village politics is much richer than a politics in the city.
Yes.
So it's not like village, small town, city. The challenges are going to be at different levels at all the places alike. But the only thing is that you will have to be very consistent with your effort.
Yes.
The consistency of the effort is what matters. See, especially when it comes to tree planting and all that, no, it takes a lot of time to build trust amongst the community.
Yes.
I started in 97.
Yes.
It took me 13, 14 years for a group of citizens to come and parley around us.
Yes.
So you will have to be very consistent with the job. चाहे अकेले भी जाए, साफ करना पड़े. So that Sunday you will have to do it.
Yes.
You cannot miss that.
Yes, absolutely. That's
and the next Sunday, maybe 4 people join you. Third, maybe 40 join you. Fourth, maybe 5 again come again. No, you cannot get disheartened with the numbers.
Self-motivated रहना पड़ेगा.
Yes, you will have to be very consistent in your effort. And one day we'll crack it. We'll crack it. So now, basically, there was a lot of hope that DMK government has come in and Stalin is going to come out. He has also made many committees, citizens committees. Many of my friends are in the committee.
Yes, every small village and town, there are now water and cities, students, youth committees or something is there, no?
नहीं, citizens committee बनाया top level पे.
And school curriculum भी लाए हैं कुछ water bodies.
नहीं, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है लेकिन सब बंकम, सब बकवास.
Okay.
Everything.
That project, that was quite interesting project.
I'm still not. 3 साल में मतलब हम लोग को भी बहुत होप था. मेरे को तो बहुत ज्यादा ही होप था कि भाई जो पुराना ईपीएस ने किया है, जितना तांडव किया है, जितना एनवायरमेंट डिस्कशन किया है, ये एक स्टेप आगे बढ़ के कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, तो इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज हो जा रहा है और इंटरनलाइज.
और सबसे दुख की बात है कि एटलीस्ट वो बोल नहीं रहा था. ये बोल और कुछ रहा है और कर और कुछ रहा है. He was at least saying that I'm going to do this. So we could actually take him on. He's saying something else in the name of Dravidian model. So we have our own challenges. Tamil Nadu is facing its own challenge. I went to Palampur recently. On the way I saw it was full of plastics and only plastics. Most beautiful of the space is full of plastics. Then I come back to Salem and unfortunately many spaces here are also being littered with plastic. हो सकता है यहाँ पे जल्दी क्लीन हो जाए, but solid waste management, we need a real integrated approach towards water now. We have to cover from solid waste management to urban planning to how forest department is basically allocating land, the way it is destroying habitats. हम लोग को ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक काम करना पड़ेगा. Right from top to bottom we'll have to work, or bottom to top. Either way, this way, that way.
Both ways.
Yes. And then you'll have to also work with the judiciary. You'll also work with the bureaucrats, with the people, we have facing a very uphill struggle now.
Yes.
एक तो बारिश अच्छा हो जाता है ना, people will forget. 2019 Chennai was the zero city. It was going to be announced.
Yes.
There were murders happening for water. Murders were happening for water. People were stabbing at each other for water. 2 good rains and not a single article on this issue.
And it was flooding also everywhere.
And it was flooding also. And 2015, after the 2015 floods, they said, "Ab se flood hi nahi hoga." We were invited to a lot of panels, lot of discussions took place. Things are back to square one. वो चेन्नई में सिर्फ अभी because Stalin is there, 2 crore population is living there. They have taken some real steps to ensure that flooding doesn't happen. But still, the core of the problem is there. No, the core issue is still there. Your Ennur destruction is still happening. The government is not taking a back step. Ennur are the most important water catchment area, which has to absorb a lot of water. From where this water has to go inside the sea. So this cannot be blocked. This area cannot be damaged. But still we hear that nothing much has happened. Pallikarni marshland, you can easily take it up, you can clean it up, you can restore it.
It's a wetland now, na? It's a wetland now, Ramsar.
It is always announced as a wetland.
अच्छा.
फिर आपने उसको टैग वैग दिया यूनेस्को का टैग हो गया फिर वो सीखे. But on the ground there is so much more to be done, and I'm not being desperate about it now, but the thing is that the way climate change is operating, कभी कोविड आ गया, कभी कुछ आ गया, कभी कुछ आ गया, यार शांति से मतलब पिछले 7-8 साल से हम लोग बैठे नहीं जी. 2015 से मैं देख रहा हूँ चेन्नई फ्लड के बाद ओकी साइक्लोन आया, वो साइक्लोन आया, ये आया, वो है, वी आर शांत.
क्लाइमेट चेंज, हाँ, क्लाइमेट चेंज इम्पैक्ट.
हाँ, और मे बी दिस बीजेपी फ्रॉम जब से आया है ना तब से कम
let me take you to a more interesting question, because I know I learned that you are also a God fearing person. And I really like the word when you talk about Mari Sthalam, you know. Yeah. And you relate it with Ganga also. Yeah. You know. And you also have deep knowledge about religion, where you do talk about how different religion talks about water first than anything else. And I teach water in religious scriptures, and that's where I got interested in how Piyush looks at those aspects. And you make a very important line there, that you can hide from everyone but not from nature. You know. So how do you think people really nowadays relate religion and nature? Because religion has become a completely different business. Absolutely. Nature is a completely different business altogether now, because when I see riverfront development, when I see lakefront development, I really don't see any nature there. I see business there. Absolutely. I mean, Sabarmati riverfront, 1400 crore rupees, and it is the most polluted river in the country. So should I not be asking that money could have been saved, and this river could have been better than the most polluted river? So anyway, back to the question there. When we see these large projects happening, we do realize that activists or as teachers or environmentalists, that there is a poor understanding of relationship between humans being part of the nature. We almost have forgotten, and we feel that we can tame the nature and do anything and everything with, especially with water body, right from dam to canals to, all these stupid kind of river fronts and all. Do you think those who do these kind of projects at some point in their life, they will realize that they are doing some kind of disaster or playing with the nature, and they cannot win over nature? Because I see you definitely see nature as your first God or everything, every religion, and you also relate it and do talk about your wife as well, as that she is very revered for you, the way you talk about water bodies. I mean, I really relate these things with masculinity in the society, the patriarchal and when I read people like you, I feel that we really have to get rid of this mindset that we can tame nature, because taming nature is a patriarchal attitude in my understanding. Absolutely. How do we change that in the society, or where do you see people are heading for?
Per se, I only have I don't have disrespect for religious texts, but I can use them as a reference points.
Absolutely.
I don't believe that they are sacred.
Yes.
Anything that is human made is not sacred to me.
Yes. Yeah,
But
you make
I would,
that point also. Yes.
so nature worship is what something that I would like to connect to. And again, the word nature, the word worship, all these needs to be reinvented and
Yes.
redesigned and again brought back to the people. Somehow this Brahmanical aspect of controlling people, controlling nature, or the priestly class aspect of like
Yeah.
humans being the connection between the divine and the existing humans.
Best species.
So साला तुम खुद को ही कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे हो, मेरे को क्या कर दोगे तुम ना. So we'll have to redefine everything or redesign everything to defeat the existing design that is making us complacent, that is making us duffer, buffer, whatever word it is for the virus that we are today. So especially with Mari is that Mari is basically is rain.
Yes.
In Tamil it is rain. It's Muttu Mari means one drop of water, or the Mari's journey.
Yes.
Then came the Brahmanical aspect of keeping Mari as a female form inside a temple.
Yes.
So then we made a drop of water and said this is the real Mari. And the real home of Mari is the lake, river, and the ocean.
Yes.
And the ponds and the lakes, and this entire journey of it is what I would connect to. With the intention that at least people will question then who is sitting inside this temple? Who is
Yes.
sitting inside? And so this earth is the home of God, is the home that God has provided to us. Who am I to build a home for God itself? Itna ahankar.
That is that is a question. You nailed it. Huh? I mean, we are making house for God.
Yeah. So Brahmanical aspect is what has to be challenged. And with regard to lot of reference point have been given to nature worship, like that's base of every religion. But you went wrong. I'm not even asking people to go back to religion. Just rethink common sense again. वापस common sense पे आओ. Biggest seers of our times, Mahavir or Buddha,
Yes.
they went into the labs of nature seeking spiritual knowledge, saying that everything has been given by nature to us, and even spiritual knowledge has to come through nature. So it's a long subject and long topic, but we are redesigning the entire thing again and rewiring, and hope this rewiring really connects with people or झटका लगेगा धीरे से.
बिल्कुल लग रहा है, and that can be seen from your little project of Co-op, which Coop-Forest. I think that's a very good manifestation where you are trying to connect people. People feel connected with the initiative. They work for themselves. You are of course part of it and guiding the people there. And I think that's the best way to make people realize that how connecting with nature is not only good for health, but also it's an entrepreneuring activity. I mean, you can make your livelihood out of it. It's not that you have to be really just doing nature conservation and not get your livelihood from there. So can you please share that? This is my last question also to you before I ask a small message for younger generation. Can you share how Coop-Forest now operates? I mean, what's the model? Because it's a cooperative, right?
Yeah. So Coop-Forest was basically, I had no money with me. So initially I had to ask people for money. I registered lands, their name, pooled this land together. Then slowly, see, the first goal was to create a forest for profit. That still we retain that.
Yes, you
mentioned. Subsequent droughts happened, then a lot of issues happened. And ultimately we're struggling for power. अभी transformer आया है हमारे यहाँ. Just now we have got the transformer done. Even the connection is pending, but it'll happen in 10 days, 15 days time. So 100 odd poles were put up. High tension line has been given. It has been a 15-year wait. In these 15 years, what I've been able to do is I've been able to rainwater harvest and store a lot of water and create the infrastructure waiting for the power. This power would have come earlier to us. Unfortunately, cyclone, I think so, Gaja cyclone came, or which one took over in 2018. 2 lakh poles had fallen down in the Delta region. So after that, there was a lot of delay in other projects getting online. But anyway, finally we got it. And now we have designed a lot of water harvesting designs there for dry and arid regions. one design that we have made is especially that where we pump water top of a hill, where I built a small pond of 2000 square feet at the top of the hill, and I'm going to pump water inside that pond, and we have seen that the hill becomes like a sponge, and it's been very successful, this model. So we have 5 ponds. We have been able to pump only for 1 pond. The day once the transformer is installed, I'll be pumping in 5 ponds, and once I do it, I'll open it for people's viewing. I'll invite people, farmers from all around, to come and see Coop-Forest and experience the magic of water.
Nice.
The success of Coop-Forest has been that we have been able to create this model in 250 acres with 20 lakh rupees in hand. Now, every farmer with a 2 lakh, or sorry, with a 2 acre or 3 acre farm holding spends 4 or 5 lakhs on water, and not necessarily that he can find it. But here, if the community comes collectively together with just 10,000 rupees pooling per acre, they can become water secure.
So this, you also have a very clear business model around it. That
Yes.
is where I was also very interested to learn that to love nature and to work on nature is not really only just an environmental, conservationist, but also there is a way to really look at it as an entrepreneuring exercise or an approach or attempt. And that brings me to, I really wish to talk to you honestly, to be honest. I mean, I got hold of you after a lot of effort, maybe remembering and trying to get you for last 2 years to talk to us. But being a Lake student, I really want to learn so much about you, but hopefully I will get my students there to your place and understand and get to know things on ground. But people people, when I say, I mean the young students who are really looking into now many routes to get into environmental activities. And as you are also aware that things are not so conducive in this society today, where things are competitive, environment does not look like a very good proposition to enter as a profession. And not many youngsters are also that encouraged from the family particularly to take on activism, or environmental activism is a step further, where it's more uncertainty than social activism, I will say, because the results are unknown to all, including the activist himself or herself. What will be your message for the younger generation if they at all look at environment, not activism, but environmental or nature conservation as their, future path? I will not say only as social or an environmental activist, but also as an entrepreneur. How should they think of looking at it as a career option?
I think that's the safest bet that they've got today, actually.
Yes, I also believe that. I mean, what future is of water,
The safest bet that you've got. You have nothing too much to lose about it. Yeah, everything has a risk in life.
Of course.
But I think so, yes. I think so, yes. I'm not a good expert at it. Being my wife is a much better businesswoman. She's been able to sustain me for a long while now and successfully run the business also. But I've been into a lot of businesses, green businesses like Areca sheet plate, bamboo furniture, vermicomposting. Now my wife makes 150 products from aloe vera, etc., etc. So yeah, it has been a little struggle for us, but those who are into academics now, like my son now, he's just passed out of his BA Humanities, and he has applied to 3-4 places, and he has got placement in all of them. So there is a huge opportunity, like Center for Pastoralists. Someone spoke to him now recently. He's joined the Center for Knowledge Alternatives. Then some National Archives on water body research, he got a job offer there.
Nice.
So yeah, I think so. It's all opening up. People are now really concerned. There's a lot of opening happening, and I'm sure. See, I wouldn't be an expert in this, so I wouldn't be wanting to advise people and then.
Would you not like more people to become Piyush like activist and conservationist?
नहीं होना चाहिए, नहीं होना चाहिए, लेकिन I don't know how बेवकूफ I am.
But I think it is about passion also, it cannot be suggested to people to be like this. If you have it, you just do it. I mean, you don't wait for people to say about it. People can say to become a professional, but to become a passionate environmental crusader,
this cannot be advised actually. It cannot be advised.
It cannot be advised. That's true. That's true.
Someone else has a question?
Yes,
two people who are there with us.
Question, if you may please ask. I see Purushaka, Monami, Apurva, Jha. Would you like to ask anything or interact with Piyush? We started quite late today, huh? So
yeah, sorry, I'm very sorry.
No issues. But I was enjoying the conversation, and do you have questions to ask to Piyush, participants? I will also have to check if there are questions in the YouTube. I did not check there. Anubhuti or okay, I don't see people are responding, and I'm just checking. Yeah, let me just do the honor of doing the thank note. Thank you so much, Piyush. I hope the conversation was good for you. You were not stressed to answer my
no.
questions. But the thing I like about you is that you are really very transparently talking the way the water is, and you really reflect to me after spending 30 years in the knowledge sector of the water. That I am water, and if there are few people in this country whom I can refer to as, and I will really say that it is one of you is Piyush, is actually you who can be really seen as transparent as water in my understanding of studying lakes for nearly 30 years. So thank you so much, Piyush. Please stay around. Let me just do the announcement for the next week so that I can do the protocol of our sessions. So we thank all the participants who have joined on YouTube as well as here. And deep apology for the delay and the technical glitches we had today. Please note that we do Friday Waters as well as Wednesdays for Water very regularly every week. And with Piyush, we are already having now our 98th session. And next week, Wednesday, we have our biodiversity series where Jayati Chaure from Saki Waters is hosting that. And next week, we are going to get into the underwater paradise and talk about coral reef. And next Friday, which is this Friday, and that's 7th of June, 9th of June, sorry. We have one of the legends in the water scholars, Tushar Shah sir from IWMI, to talk about his book, which is the Friday Waters book reading session. And he will be talking about his book on Taming the Anarchy, Groundwater Governance in South Asia. It's a solo authored book, and as you may know that Tushar Shah sir has been working for decades in the sector of water with IMI, and we are really fortunate to have his time to talk about book reading sessions. So do keep tuning us to our Monday sessions with women and Wednesdays with the scientific talks and grounded talks as we had today with Piyush, and Fridays are soft talks for us. And this is more of open education for water, because in our country, we still lack proper water education. So this was the best way we could find out to bring water education from the ground, from the experts, from the horse's mouth, we can say. And soon we are going to complete 200 sessions like these. So please continue to support and encourage us. We are almost zero budget initiative, and we really love the way people interact with us, and especially all our speakers. Over 250 speakers have spoken on our platforms. So thank you so much, and thanks Piyush once again for giving your time and speaking your heart. And I hope to get in touch with you soon. Thank you so much. Please take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please take care.